Welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I'm a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. This is March 20th of 2021 at roughly 3:30 a.m. PST. I've been doing this now. I'm surprised I'm still doing it in all fairness. I tried getting started, and the word tried is very important in this case because I never succeeded. But I've tried numerous times. There's English. Numerous times to get things moving to start doing regular videos. And I must say thank you to all of you to everybody that asked me to put out more videos. It has proven to be excessively beneficial. Okay, it turns out to be more effective for me than journaling, as in writing it on paper. Now, I'm sure those of you out there that are blind, and are just listening to this, have to make adjustments to what I'm talking about. You'll have to modify things to your eyesight, same as everybody else has to modify things to their way of doing things. This is just the method I personally use. Okay, now it has taken me my outlook on life, whether it comes to self help, whether it comes to business, whether it comes to off-worlders, ancient races, alien technologies, religion, different cultures, doesn't matter. These are the tools that I've used to put myself together. Okay, and it's taken me from living borderline on poverty. Now, I'm still not wealthy by any functional stretch in my eyes, at least not monetarily speaking. Thanks so much to the support of people out there that have encouraged me to go down this road. Okay, and this shirt here, okay, needless to say, Paracon 19. Okay, 2 years ago, I was asked to come down and speak at a Paracon on UFOs. Okay, this has led me down a phenomenal road, not the least of which was it led me down the road to end up working on Spaced Out Radio as a guest speaker on the first Friday of every month, which, by the way, means next Friday, I think. Let me just double check the calendar. Which, yes, but no, not not this coming Friday, but the following one. On April 2nd, I'll be on Spaced Out Radio again at the ET Connection, and I hope you join me there. Okay, and I'll get to that. I'll probably say that again in the other video I'm doing today, but it has taken me from being very much on the edge of poverty, riddled with debt, okay, always with collectors on my tail feathers, an absolute disaster where it comes to a household. Okay, I could not make ends meet at all, but now, okay, and of course I wouldn't talk to people, okay, unless they talked directly to me, and it was worse when I was a kid. Now, I've got this wonderful new outlook. I'm debt free, as you can see by the stuff disappearing behind me. Okay, now you could argue I'm just moving it elsewhere. You're going to have to take my word for it, I'm not. It's moving elsewhere, technically, yes. Recycling, going to people that can use it, to the garbage, depending on what it is. But it's going from here out of my house is the whole idea. Now some gets moved elsewhere temporarily and then gets moved. But this is why the office isn't straightening itself out too terribly far. Now, with that in mind, I came to the conclusion that first and foremost, in order to be successful, first of all, you have to understand one thing. You are the only person out there that can be successful for you. Okay, that's all there is to it. Now, I discovered something. Now, I'll be 58 in a couple of months. Well, actually, a little less than 2 months. But if I'd have figured out this trick decades ago, I would not be having to have my teeth replaced today. Okay, now that's going to happen in a little while. But a neat little thing I found out: I had a tooth infection. I didn't even have the ability to go to the dentist to get it corrected. Did put a little poking around, talked to a few people, ended up using a salt water rinse. Okay, 1 teaspoon of salt into a cup of water. Okay, you don't drink the thing. For pity's sakes, do not drink it. Okay, if you do, the only thing that'll happen is get sick. The idea is you put a little in your mouth, swish it around, and spit the whole thing out. But what it does is the salt kills the bacteria. And the reason I know this is because I had a really bad infection until one gentleman that I had been talking to gave me this neat little secret. Okay, and when I started doing that, including cleaning my teeth, obviously, when I started doing that, it killed the infection. To the point that when I went to the dentist, he couldn't understand why, with 4 active abscesses, why I had no pain. Now, the abscesses have to be dealt with. Okay, and that's a problem in and of itself for me. The important factor is the salt water bath and the salt water rinse killed the infection and the pain to the point that I'm functioning fine. Well, working on it. These are still a pain in the neck. Okay, the first trick is you got to figure out, first of all, what you feel success is. And the trick to that is take a look at the way your life is and ask yourself this: am I content with my life? Never mind this cute question of what do I want to do when I grow up? How am I going to be successful when I'm an adult? How about if we start with how will I be successful right now? Now, the first step in that, like I've taken a lot of the information I've got, put it in multiple different genres of books. Okay, and quite honestly, I've got them all here. If you look at the bottom of my videos, okay, first and foremost, since you're here, how about if we start this off right? Hopefully get a thumbs up from you. Okay, certainly subscribe to my videos because there's a lot of them coming out since March 6th of this year. Okay, which means, granted, we're only looking at a couple of weeks here. What? March 6th, so we're only realistically looking at 2 weeks at this point. Okay, I thought it was longer than that, but then time is not easily tracked by me. Since March 6th, I've had one video at least out a day. Okay, but every long story, every journey starts with a single step. Okay, and that brings us to this other point. Okay, well, okay, we're going back and forth, but this is a live recording, which means I'm not about to go in and edit it. I'm not going to change and make sure it's all correct or that it's all said absolutely perfectly. I'm just not. That's not me. Okay. At the bottom of these videos, you'll find a list of ways of contacting me. You'll also find a list of different books that I've written that I've put in print and right now are only available through me, but you can contact me below for any of that. Now, I just said that any great journey takes the first step. It has to start somewhere. Now, I'm told that the first step is the hardest. Okay, I'm here to tell you that is, in my opinion, absolutely dead wrong. The first step everybody makes. Okay, virtually. Take a look at little kids. Watch the way they walk. The first step in any journey is done by the first step. So they take that first step. Now, when they do that, they overbalance, and the second step is almost forced. Okay, the hard step is the third one. Okay, so if we take a look at this, I talk about balancing things out over the course of a week. Okay, so let's take that step as 1 week. My first week was when I took that first step. My second week was the almost forced second step. Now we're going into the third week. Okay, and the third week is the one that will set the pattern because, as far as I've come to understand it, the average time to get a habit either built or broken, okay, is 21 days, aka 3 weeks. Now, it is shorter for some, longer for others. Okay, so what you have to look at is this. take that step. Where do you start? Wherever you're standing right this second. The fact that you're looking at this video, at least I presume you're looking at the video, you might be walking around the kitchen, but wherever you are, okay, whatever you're doing, take that first step now. Now, the four most powerful words that I have ever come across where it comes to self-esteem and self-motivation, okay, and self-worth. I am worth it. Those four words I strongly recommend you put on your fridge and in your office. Now, I happen to have, and I showed it on one of my earlier videos, I showed a hand burnt using a magnifying lens and the sun, a hand burnt sign that says, I am worth it. The little one I've got up front is on cardstock and laminated. Okay, now the reason I say in your office, okay, if you're one of these people that's in your office all the time, well, it's 3:30 in the morning, so this is pretty much the way my day goes today. You take that sign, put it in your office where you can see it. Okay, as a constant reminder, because there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you you're not worth it. You're worth nothing without, and there's a lot of really bizarre concepts. Like, for instance, are you attached to a partner that says, without me, you're nothing? You wouldn't be where you are today without me. Well, the reality is, okay, check this one out. The reality is, you're the only one that can get where you are. You're the only one that can move forward from here. So you put those four words in your office where you're working. Okay, you've got a dream in mind of something you would like to do that you've already got in your mind that you'd like to do? Absolutely. Start doing it. I will tell you this. Now, the dream I have, and I keep forgetting to grab that. Let's see if I can grab it. I think I'm going to take this off just so I don't hurt myself. 1 second. I didn't feel like hurting myself. So, hopefully that didn't go bad. If it did, we have a very serious problem. But hopefully, there, that should do that. And there's no way I can check that, so we're going to carry on and pray. Probably shouldn't have done that, but we'll take a look at the video. What time is it? Well, there we are, halfway through the video. Okay, anyway, I was going to say, do not give up on your dreams. Back in grade 10, I had this idea. I was given a project that literally said, the project was write a storyline. So I wrote a storyline, and this is the result. Now, I will tell you, if I'd have had the idea in my head of how easy it was to make things happen, okay, this would not have taken 40 years to come to light. Now, I was fortunate. My parents never said anything about it, but there's a lot of parents that'll say, don't go into the arts, don't go into singing, don't go into the creative side. You've got to have a career, a standard run-of-the-mill career. I'm telling you, that's not necessarily the way it is. Okay, you take a look at it. There's a lot of phenomenal authors out there. A staggering number of phenomenal actors, actresses, singers. Okay, if you have a dream, if you've got a goal that you would like to accomplish for you, doesn't matter what it is, as long as it follows 3 simple laws. Be true to yourself, do unto others as you desire them to do unto you, and energy out, energy in. Now, as long as you're following those 3 laws, okay, whatever your dream is, okay, work towards it. Draw people to you that have what you desire, that have the support around you. Now, these may be family, they may be strangers, they may be friends. It doesn't make any difference who they are. By the way, it also doesn't matter what race they are, what nationality, what color, what orientation, what religious or political affiliation. They are all valuable people. Every one of you is extremely valuable. And that is the real critical factor of it. Because the reality is, together, we can make this a better world. The wars can stop, the jealousy can go away. 40,000 years ago, in one of my past lives, I remember when society was absolutely at peace with each other. Okay, it was a phenomenal world. And this world that we have, there's a lot of things that we can sit and complain about. A staggering number. Okay. Like, I mean, I was listening the other day, just like there are people that will complain about everything. And that's okay. Okay, but it is amazing how many people complain about things instead of doing something about them or realizing what they're complaining about. Okay, now, I am worth it is critical. Okay, that's first and foremost from that standpoint. Now, where it comes to attaining things, give it physical form. There's 3 stages in manifestation that you think about. Okay, all manifestation, all change starts up here, up in the etheric. Now, you can put that in terms of in the universe. It all starts with God. It all starts with Mother Nature. It all starts with whoever or whatever. It starts in the etheric plane. Okay, up here. Trickles down into the emotional plane, as in you get this idea, then you get the feel that I really desire that, I really require that in my life. Then it goes into the logical side where your brain figures out how to get what you desire. Then it trickles down into the material world. Okay, and the more physically, the more you can figure it out, the more that you can give it physical representation. Okay, and sound is a form of physical representation. You don't believe me on that? Take a glass of water, okay, put that glass of water in front of you, and just give a low hum into the water, okay, or grab a fan and blow it across the water and watch the water move. You have physical form. This is why I say even vocalizing what you're doing works like an absolute charm. And this is one of the reasons why I said I really have to thank you guys. Okay, because it was your encouragement that got me on this role of actually doing the video and hearing myself constantly. I don't go back and listen to my videos. I don't sit there. I look at myself way more often since I started doing the videos than I ever did. Than I ever did at all when I was before that. Okay, I'd avoid looking at myself because, frankly, not impressed. Working on that too, came up with a few ideas on that one, so I'll deal with that. Okay, and just, I mean, let's face it, there are people that first thing in the morning will grab a glass of something, and the people I'm concerned with for them, is the ones that the first thing they grab hold of is alcohol. Mine happens to be full of extremely weak coffee. Okay, most people, to give you, when I talk about it being weak, I don't like the flavor of water because the water where I am tastes like chlorine. Okay, and I can leave it sit and the chlorine goes out of it. I still don't really like the flavor. So if you take a 12-cup pot for coffee, most people seem to take 3 or 4 of the scoops for a 12-cup pot. Okay, which is great. Okay, in my case, I use 4 scoops for a 30-cup pot because I like the flavor. I don't care about the caffeine. Okay, it doesn't seem to have done a whole lot of damage to me. Okay, aside from possible, don't know for certain, may have something to do with why my teeth are hooped. But That's where the saltwater bath comes in. Okay. But you get your day started. Now, like, I got up this morning, okay, got out of bed, did what I had to, had myself a shower, and my bed in my room is already made. It's already done. Floor is already cleared off. Now, granted, I haven't vacuumed the floor yet. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't think that's a good idea. Anyway, once you have an idea of what you consider, like where you're looking, where you're standing, are you happy with where you are? Okay. Now, instead of trying to figure out what you desire to be when you grow up, what do I want to be in 30 years? How about if you try something really bizarre? And this works so much better in my eyes. Okay. Why don't you try this one? What are you not content with right now? And let's start getting rid of those things. Because I can tell you, I wasn't happy with that mess behind me. And every time I looked at it, it's like, I don't like that. I got to do something about it. Well, amazingly enough, I can keep complaining it's not going to, that I don't like it. It ain't going to go anywhere until I get off my tail feathers and get it gone. Okay. Net result, when I started doing that, the junk that I've got is just vanishing out of my house. Not because of magic, although that would be nice, but because I'm picking the thing up and I'm moving it. Now, for you gamers out there, okay, it's kind of neat idea when you think about it. Okay, you know, gamers are the people playing Dungeons and Dragons, playing on video games. Okay, when you think about it, they talk about magic and getting rid of stuff, and let's just teleport. Well, there is something called a half-level teleport spell. It's called Run. Okay, you move quickly from one location to another. Okay, it's kind of like a half-level, a half-level telekinesis, mind over matter. I desire to move something from here to here. Well, here's a half-level one. I want this stapler to move from that hand to disappear out of sight over here. So we're going to go telekinesis, reach out and grab it, one molecule to the next, and put it out of sight. It's gone. Magic. Not really, but well, it is in a way. They said one day, and I forget who said it in all fairness, but I think it was Einstein that I heard it from first, where he said magic when pushed to its ultimate level, science when pushed to its ultimate level is a little different than magic. Okay. Now the magic for creating your life, for co-creating the world you desire is right here. And it is through communication with the people around you. Okay. As the saying goes, no man is an island unto himself, meaning you cannot necessarily do everything yourself. We all require help. I required your guys' help to get enough motivation, enough people telling me, look, what you have to tell people can make a difference to them. Now, I've been working in the metaphysical field as a professional psychic since 1986. Professional meaning making money at it. I've been working as a counselor since I was 10. Okay, the first time I counseled anybody, I was 10 years old. And I did it quite by accident in my eyes. Like, that's the time I did it in public anyway. And that sounds trippy until you realize when I went to my 30-year class reunion, the first person I ran into there took one look at me and goes, "Weren't you one of the counselors in school?" I looked at him and I went, "No, I was actually a student. I just happened to do more work than than the two counselors combined." And here's the reality for you parents out there. Kids don't talk to adults on the whole, and a lot of the reason for that is because adults forgot what being a kid was. They forget about the stresses. Would that I could, but, and in all fairness, it's probably a good thing I don't. Parents, on the whole, adults, they somehow get to a point where they go, no, my childhood doesn't matter. That's all behind me, and it doesn't have any effect. But the kids that are in their early teens, the late childhood, what they call the tweens, So really from about 8 until, well, I think actually it starts from about 6. Okay, maybe a little earlier in some cases. All the way through puberty. They've got things going on in their life that may seem absolutely, pointless to you. But you got to look at it from their perspective. Okay, and I've got an idea. When I get to be a millionaire and have the money to do it, I'll follow through with it. But, and you'll notice I said when. Okay, now I've got to go back and look at some of the videos I've done because I identified 9 very self-limiting words in the spoken language. And yes, the spoken language also includes sign language. Okay, that said, if you take a look at some of my other videos that are listed as language, there are some words, and I've got to finish the series off, there are some words that are absolutely dead self-deprecating. Things like can't, try, if. Take a look. There's 9 of them in total. I don't have the series finished yet. This is something that has just popped into my head that I've got to go back and finish. Okay. Get in your mind what you're aiming at and realize you're the only person that can be successful for you. And I'm going to choke on myself. So, we're going to start this journey off. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. I will be back tomorrow morning. God knows what time. Because frankly, I don't know. This one's at 3. Yesterday, I think it was around 7. I do these when I get up. The routine for me is get up, get organized, get dressed, get in the office, get the video done. But I don't know entirely when that's going to happen, and we'll talk about that later. For the time being, I'm going to leave you with this thought. This is the time for you to look in the mirror and go, what am I not content with? And let's start eliminating the things that you're not content with that you have direct control over. Okay, your personal outlook, the junk you've got around the house that you're not content with. And this is you. This is not what I think you should do. This is simply what you are not content with. Let's start there. And we'll reconvene tomorrow morning whenever I get here. Okay. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.